Okay, yes. A professional editor is very important, more important than most people realize. And there's a lot of different kinds of editing, so that becomes something that a lot of people don't realize. So a lot of people, a lot of writers, especially first-time writers, they have certain things that they do that sabotage their work. And one thing is they don't hire an editor, or they don't offer an editor their firstborn child or something, in order to help them. And the reason for that is that we become blind as writers. We become blind to what we've written. And we may miss grammar mistakes. We may miss that we set up a character in the first few pages and then they just got lost somewhere, but they seemed really important. And then somehow, if they're self-publishing, that comes out, and then people wonder what happened. So it looks sloppy. Other kinds of editing are called like line editing and copy editing, and that has to do with going ahead and correcting those little minor details. And one issue that I had as a publicist with a client was that they had self-published 100 copies of their children's book, which is only like a few pages, maybe 5 or 6 pages, but it had a huge typo on the very beginning, the dedication. It was your, Y-O-U-R, and it should have been Y-O-U''R. And I asked them to reprint all the copies, and they were not happy, but I explained that having that error there made it difficult for any parent that was going to read that book to their child, and then the child eventually be able to read it to themselves. It's a grammar error, so that you don't want your child to learn to pick that up early. So things like that they go by. And I also hear a lot of writers very upset because they went with a small press, and the small press had a list of editors. And they said, okay, so I'll take the cheapest editor here. This one's only going to cost X amount of dollars. And then they say to me, I don't get it. Like, you just found 50 errors on the book, and I paid an editor money, and how did this happen? So, and I think it's a sad situation because writers, beginning writers especially, or writers who did not make an A in English, that kind of stuff, they don't know that they've made a grammar mistake. They don't know that editing for a book is going to have different kinds of writing in it than what's acceptable in your English class that you learned. So all these things are something that an editor can bring, including even details like, what would be marketable, or what is not going to get your book seen. And these are things that writers don't think about because we're busy writing and wanting to communicate what we wrote, and we're just we're not really thinking about that anybody wouldn't want to read our book.